Welcome to US Insider TV. Today we are going to discuss one of the most important patterns in human history. If you understand this pattern, everything happening right now in the Middle East will start to make sense. The pattern is simple. Every empire that has tried to conquer Iran, historically known as Persia, has either collapsed, been weakened, or forced to retreat. And today I will explain, using history and game theory, why the United States could be next. As Mark Twain once said, history does not repeat itself but it often rhymes, and in the case of Iran, it rhymes very loudly. Let us begin with Alexander the Great. Alexander conquered Persia, but what happened next? He died at the age of 32, his empire collapsed almost immediately, his generals fought among themselves, and within a short period, Iranian powers such as the Parthians rose again. The lesson is simple. Iran can be defeated temporarily, but it is extremely difficult to control permanently. The second example is the Roman Empire. Rome was the most powerful military force of the ancient world and fought Iran for nearly 300 years. Crassus was defeated at the Battle of Carrhae, Trajan achieved victories but could not hold the territory, and Julian died in battle. In the end, Rome fell while Iran remained standing. The third example is the Arab Caliphate. The Arabs did conquer Iran, but over time Iran absorbed its conquerors. Persian culture reshaped Islamic civilization through contributions to poetry, science, and philosophy. Once again, the conqueror was transformed. The fourth example is the Mongols. The Mongols devastated Iran, but later they converted to Islam, adopted Persian culture, and effectively became part of the civilization they once conquered. The fifth example is the Soviet Union. In the 20th century, the USSR occupied parts of Iran, but in 1946 they were forced to withdraw. Even a nuclear superpower could not maintain control over Iran. Now the key question is why this pattern exists. The answer lies in structural factors and game theory. The first reason is strategic depth. Iran is a large country with mountains, deserts, and difficult terrain. Controlling such geography requires millions of soldiers, which is not realistic for modern armies. The second reason is what can be called an inverted military structure. Traditionally, armies rely on large numbers of infantry supported by more expensive systems. However, the United States relies heavily on expensive air power, making prolonged conflict extremely costly and difficult to sustain. The third reason is asymmetric cost. An Iranian drone may cost around $50,000, while an interceptor missile used to stop it can cost millions. This creates a situation where one side is spending far more resources over time, leading to financial strain. The fourth reason is the will to fight. For Iran, conflict is often framed as existential and ideological, while in the United States there can be political division and limited public support. Wars are not won by technology alone, but by determination and unity. Modern warfare is not limited to the battlefield. It operates across four dimensions: military, economic, political, and narrative. The United States often tries to align these dimensions with its military actions, while Iran uses military strategy to influence all four dimensions simultaneously. Economically, the Strait of Hormuz carries a significant portion of the world's oil supply. Any disruption can drive up oil prices and place pressure on the global economy. Politically, conflicts can create divisions among allies and destabilize regional relationships. Narratively, global public opinion plays an increasingly important role in shaping outcomes in modern conflicts. Another critical factor is the petrodollar system. Since 1973, most global oil transactions have been conducted in US dollars, creating constant demand for the currency and supporting American economic and military power. If this system weakens, it could have serious consequences for the global financial structure. In this context, Iran's strategy is not necessarily to win through direct confrontation, but to increase the cost of conflict to the point where the opponent is forced to withdraw. This approach has appeared multiple times throughout history and has often proven effective. My analysis suggests that while the United States remains extremely powerful militarily, sustaining long-term costs may become increasingly difficult. When those costs become too high, withdrawal becomes the likely outcome. History shows that every empire eventually declines, whether it was Rome, the Mongols, the British Empire, or the Soviet Union. These declines are usually driven not by a single defeat, but by overextension and internal weaknesses. Iran represents a civilization that has endured for thousands of years. It adapts, it waits, and over time it preserves its position. If you found this deep analysis valuable, make sure to subscribe to US Insider TV and stay connected for more powerful geopolitical insights.